AEW have a lot of crappy workers on their roster, but could they be about to add the crappiest worker of them all? A Shotzi Blackheart is showing interest in becoming all elite. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Wrestling. Shotzi Blackheart has never been elite at anything, especially professional wrestling, especially in that squared circle. And I don't think she'd be a good fit for AEW, especially if you listen to Will Ospreay. He says you need to be elite. He says you can't be a former WWE person. Will he keep that same energy when it comes to Shotzi Blackheart if she shows up in AEW? Who knows? But she seems to want that job. She seems to be desperate. And she thinks it's pretty cool in AEW that hot girls get to make out with each other in the ring. We'll talk about that in a minute, because again, that is just very hypocritical from this current generation, where they will bash the previous era. Oh, the previous women, they weren't respected. They weren't allowed to wrestle and showcase off their talents in the ring. They were treated like sexual objects. They were stripped down to their bikinis, and it was horrible. But I love seeing hot women kissing in the middle of an AEW ring. Of course, so typical. Just double just people being hypocrites, man. That's all that it is. It's not okay if you do it, but if we want to do it, then that's fine. Oh, McMahon, look at this. McMahon, there's a man. He's using women to look hot and to profit of them. He's bad. But what's this? Women want to profit themselves. Women want to get over by doing all this sexual shit on screen to try and get views. You're good. You're good, buddy. Absolutely crazy. Anyway, well, speaking with Ariel Helwani, this is what former WWE star Shotzi Blackheart had to say when talking about her future in the business. She said, quote, "I love TNA, I love AEW. AEW is my preference. I mean, for so many reasons. I love their freedom. I have a lot of friends there who are doing really awesome things. I've heard many stories of how Tony Khan treats talent, so yeah, I do love that he really cares for his talent. That is super important to me. And hot girls get to make out with each other, so that's cool too." End of quote. So I guess she wants to go to AEW and make out with all the hot girls. And to be fair, I mean, that's probably what she would be best at. No offense to Shotzi Blackheart, but I've consistently said she's probably the worst fucking worker that I've seen on a main roster level. She talks about not getting more than 3 minutes to shine. Bitch, 3 minutes is like two and a half minutes too long for you. You should be getting 30-second job matches. Do what you do best. Just lie on your back and then take the pin. Take the 1, 2, 3. That's about as good as it gets for you in a squared circle, or probably the bedroom, either way. But Shotzi Blackheart, not a good worker. Now, you know what? Respect for what she did for her sister and all that stuff. And I don't hate Shotzi Blackheart or even dislike her, even though it might come... Well, actually, I take that back. I do dislike hypocrites in the wrestling business. I do dislike people who come out and say one thing, but then they're happy to go against their so-called principles or their beliefs if it's going to profit them. And we've just seen that so many times. I mean, look at the current era of women's wrestling. They bash the former eras. They basically say that, the former, it was all about being sexualized. Are you telling me that the women don't sexualize themselves? Look at Rhea Ripley. She's only popular because she's constantly showing her fucking ass. She's wearing ring gear that makes her ass look bigger. She's going with this whole... And let's not pretend that Mammy's just some random gimmick. This is like some weird, dominant... cuck thing where she wants the simps to call her mommy and bow down. That is like a fetish, a sexualized gimmick. Let's not pretend that it's not, okay? It is what it fucking is. So I'm just sick of these hypocrites in wrestling. I want hot women in wrestling. I've never said I don't, but these women that claim it's not about that, and judges for our wrestling, not our looks. Look at Cora Jade, gets released, and then as soon as she can, it's the first day that she's eligible to, starts an OnlyFans. Well, what happened to Judge Me in the Ring? That didn't fucking last long. So it's just full of hypocrites, man. It is sad. I respect the women that are happy just to flaunt it and not come out with this shit. And even like Tori Wilson, I find it hard to respect Tori Wilson because she got mega popular off her look. She was so over in the ruthless aggression era, and she got a lot of opportunities because of how good she looked, and she did Playboy, and she wanted to do Playboy, and that made her money, and she was one of the biggest stars on SmackDown. She wasn't like Brock Lesnar or The Undertaker, but she was probably pushing top five on SmackDown. If not in the top five, then just below the top five when it comes to popularity. She would have been making good money, and she wasn't forced into Playboy. It was an opportunity that was granted to her, and she snatched it with both hands. But then you listen to her in interviews, like later down the line over the last couple of years, she made it sound like, oh, I was forced to do it, and I hate it. Bullshit. Maybe you're older now and you're trying to trying to fit in with this new era. Oh, I wish I wasn't in that era. I wish I was in my prime during this current era. That could have been a great wrestler, but I mean, it's all bullshit at the end of the day. Tori Wilson, some women were offered Playboy and they turned it down. Some women were offered it and they accepted it. Tori Wilson was one of those ones that accepted it. If she didn't accept it, someone else in WWE would have done it. It's as simple as that. Let's not pretend that she was forced into it. So, yeah, I can't stand that where you look at Tori Wilson and that made her career, that made her a star, that got her over, that got her popularity and her money and her earnings and her fame, and that gave her comfortable luxury living, and then she wants to like bash it. Years to come. It's like, I don't like that. Anyway, Shotzi also discussed potential opponents in AEW. She says, quote, "First thing that comes to mind, a dream match in AEW, Athena. I think she's so awesome. I honestly think that she's the best women's wrestler in the world. I am such a fan of her. Not even because we tagged together and I had so much fun with her as a tag team, but I just think she's amazing, and I've never gotten to wrestle her before. I would love that, but also, Mercedes Moné, Toni Storm, absolutely. Just love to hear the promos that she would cut on me. She is killing it, but I wouldn't want to go to AEW just because I was signed to WWE and I expect them to sign me. I want to earn my spot. That's why I just want to kill it on the indies, and if they really love what I'm doing for the rest of the year, I'm game." End of quote. So Shotzi saying that her and Athena is a dream match. I don't think anybody is considering Shotzi and any opponent a dream match. Then she talks about wanting to wrestle Mercedes Moné and Toni Storm. And then she gets on to the interesting part. She says that she wouldn't want to go to AEW just because she was signed to WWE, and she doesn't expect them to sign her just because she was signed by WWE. She says that she wants to earn her spot, and she's going to kill it on the indies. And if they love what I'm doing for the rest of the year, I'm game. So you notice here that she's basically thrown it out there. I was signed to the WWE. You should sign me, AEW. I don't expect you to sign me, but here, it would be really cool, Tony Khan, if you signed me. It's like the fact that she's even mentioning that kind of tells, that would, it's like normally if you say something, if you say you're not thinking of something, more often than not, it's the opposite. It would be like if I was backstage in 2002 and Trish Stratus fucking walked in to the dressing room or whatnot, and she had her shirt off, man. She no bra. She just walked in topless. And you turn around and you look at her and you say, "I promise, I'm not looking at your boobs." Like that would be a fucking lie. You probably are looking at them, and that's the logic here that I've got with Shotzi Blackheart. She says that she doesn't expect them to sign her just because she was in WWE, and she wouldn't want to go to AEW just because she was in WWE. But I'm going to double down, and I'm going to say that she actually thinks the opposite. I'm going to think that she actually does believe that they should sign her just because she was in WWE, and I think she half expects it because she says she wants to kill it on the indie scenes. And if they love what she's doing for the rest of the year, then she's game to join. So you see, she mentions the rest of the year. She isn't willing, or she doesn't want to commit like 3-4 years to the indies. She wants AEW to sign her at the end of the year. She didn't. She could have sat here. She didn't even need to put a time frame in, but she could have said, if they enjoy what I do over the next couple of years, then maybe I'll end up there. But she's not said that. She's said by the end of the year. which shows that she's got no interest in being on the Indies long term. She wants to have a couple of matches on the Indies, quickly impress somebody, and then get signed. She's got no ambition to be doing Indies in 2026, 2027, 2028. She wants to hop onto the Indies, put on a couple of matches, and then go to AEW and get the big paycheck. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, because let's be honest, why wouldn't you want the big paycheck? But Will Ospreay, that loser came out and says, oh, you need to bust your ass on the Indies for a couple of years. He didn't say for the rest of the year. He said all these ex-WWE people need to bust their ass for multiple years and they need to be elite. Well, let's be honest. I think if Shotzi Blackheart has any integrity, she would say that she's not an elite wrestler and she never will be an elite wrestler. So, according to Will Ospreay, or bra, whatever he calls himself, Shotzi should not be in AEW. But I guarantee you, if Tony Khan did sign Shotzi, Will Ospreay, he would tuck his tail between his legs and he would pretend that Shotzi Blackheart is like Shawn Michaels in the ring. He would. He'd pretend that Shotzi is like Kurt Angle. He would do that because he's a kiss ass, and whatever Tony Khan does, he's going to back him. Also, Shotzi Blackheart, she bashed AEW like a few years ago, and Jericho replied to her on Twitter, and he said something along the lines of, don't come here begging for a job when WWE release you. And lo and behold, WWE have released her, and she's looking for a job in AEW, so kind of weird how things go around. Is that water under the bridge? Time has passed. I don't think Jericho has as much stroke in AEW now, or as much involvement as he maybe did back then, so who knows, maybe Shotzi will end up in AEW, but it is what it is. I don't really care. I mean, I think she's a pretty attractive alternative chick to look at, but her wrestling fucking sucks. Maybe she could get a manager role, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with being a manager. Or, I mean, some of the best people in wrestling history aren't even wrestlers, I mean, look at JR and the King. We love JR and the King. They're announcers. Lillian Garcia, Howard Finkel, ring announcers, amazing. Alright, maybe managers aren't that iconic. Well, I mean, Paul Bear, you've had some great managers over the year. I mean, Stephanie McMahon, probably known for being a manager than anything. Yeah, she had that stint as SmackDown GM, but I probably associate Stephanie more as being Triple H's manager and whatnot, or managing the ECW and Fusion Brothers. So, aye, maybe there's a spot for her in AEW, but I don't see her being a great wrestler or being a champion. But it is what it is, guys. Let us know your thoughts down below. I'll catch you in the next one. Shotzi Blackheart, aka Shitzy Blackheart, wants a job in AEW. She's she's praising Tony Khan. She's praising the hot women kissing each other. She's praising everything. She wants that job. She's desperate for it, but Jericho says, don't come calling. We'll have to wait and see what happens. Till next time, let us know your thoughts down below. Should Shotzi Blackheart go to AEW? Till next time, peace.